Good morning, guys. There have been a few requests for some assistance on the Delta Math problem, so I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of these questions here. And I will start with, okay, and I'm just going to do the work here off to the side. All right, so find the relative maximum. So I'm going to draw a picture of f of x that gives me a relative maximum. Okay, right? This is what it would look like, a relative maximum. And that means that f prime, which is the tangent slope, equals 0 and changes from positive to negative. All right, so that means we got to find the first derivative. Okay, is that 48? All right, so now I have to find the zeros. Now I'm going to do factoring because that's just sort of what I see here. Well, that's not too bad. Okay. All right, and so there's my first part where I found my zeros. So we have -6, -4, and 0. And then we have to test our number line. And so I'll do this over here. I'm going to go to Desmos. And I'm going to graph f prime. And it's going to look like, okay, so we got a -6, -4, and 0. Okay. So it's going to go like this, 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 and this. Okay, so now let's go figure out, okay, so we got a plus and a plus in these two sections. Oh, in these three sections. So the very left, this one, and this one. Every time you're looking at pluses or minuses, plus is above and minus is below. Okay, words like increasing and decreasing are not described by above and below, only pluses and minuses. So now I'm looking for this particular change in the number line. Plus to minus. The only place that changes plus to minus is right here at x equals -6. That's the only place right here that changes positive to negative, which means that's the relative max. Okay, so x equals -6. Oh, I guess it just wants me to write down the, okay. Yay! Okay, so let's do another one. Relative minimum. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is relative minimum, and I'm going to draw what f of x looks like first. Okay, f of x would look like this. Looks like a low point. What does f prime do? F prime equals 0, and it's negative to positive. Remember that f prime is describing tangent slope. So you've got negative slopes leading up to the minimum, positive slopes coming out of the minimum. Now that I know what I'm looking for, I'm going to go ahead and find the critical numbers. Okay, so f prime. Okay, and again, I get this negative x squared that comes out, right? Because I'm doing factoring. Make sure that sign changes if you're factoring. Okay. All right. So now I need my number line, right? First step was find those critical numbers. Second step is make my number line. Now, this is an F prime number line. And so here we've got -5, -3, and 0, which come from my critical numbers. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead to Desmos, and I'm going to graph my F prime to help me with my pluses or minuses. There's -5, -3, and 0. Okay. All right. So that's what it should look like in Desmos. Make sure you change your view window as needed. And so we've got one section that's positive. And I've got 3 sections that are negative. Okay, let's see if we can't figure out where on this number line are we looking. We're looking for F prime to be 0, so that's all of these spots. And we're looking for it to go from negative to positive. Oh, so that's right here. So that's x equals -5. Let's try that. Yay! Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, decreasing. Okay, guys, now I'm going to leave my work up here because the maxes and mins are actually more complicated questions. If I was looking for decreasing, okay, I'm going to rewrite a statement here so you can see it. F of x decreasing looks like this, which means F prime, that's just the negative portion, which means you would say anything that was negative, which here would be -infinity to -5, okay? Union -3 to +infinity. Notice how I kind of skipped over this 0. You could also separate it, -3 to 0, union 0 to +infinity, instead of this one here. Okay, so all right, let's see. Let's work this one out for you. 10x divide by 2, okay. All right, so this is my prime. Okay, so I'm going to do some factoring. Okay, so my zeros, all right, so I'm going to go over here and check Desmos. And let's see my number line. So here we've got +6, and we've got +1/5. Okay, so there's my sketch from Desmos. So I've got 2 positive sections, and I've got 1 negative section. So if I'm looking for decreasing, that means f of x looks like a negative slope, which means f prime is negative. So that's right here. This is the only spot on the number line I'm looking for. Okay, now I'm always going to use open parentheses because the endpoints are not included here. So 1/5 to 6. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and all right, let's look at the graph here. And I'm going to start by writing my calculus-based conclusion. The graph of f prime, okay, so I'm looking at f prime. Determine intervals where f is decreasing. So I'm going to start by writing my sentence. F of x looks like this when it's decreasing, okay? Right, you always start with your calculus-based conclusion. Means that f prime is negative. That's what I'm looking for. Now, remember that when you're looking for negatives, okay, that's always above or below. See this matching graph? This is f prime. Means we have two sections where this is negative, and we have two sections where it's positive. So we are looking for where f prime, okay, f prime. I'm going to turn this into a number line because I think that helps. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is -7. This is -2. This is 5. All right, so we've got positive, positive. Then we have negative, negative. So where is it negative? Okay, now there are a couple different ways. Some of you are more comfortable writing inequalities. X is more than 5. Some of you prefer interval notation. If you're going to use interval notation, just put the U in between it. If you're going to use inequalities, you put or between. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, 5 to 9. Oh, I didn't realize there was an endpoint. Okay, so that's my fault. Now, if you make a very simple mistake like this where you misread the graph, please let me know because I can go back and update your score accordingly. So let's see if we can't do one more of these correctly. Okay. Increasing. So I'm looking at f prime, determine all intervals on which f is increasing. Okay, so f of x looks like this when it's increasing. And this is my calculus-based conclusion sentence when f prime is positive, because this is when you have a positive tangent slope. All right, so I'm identifying. Notice this is the f prime graph. So whenever these things are matching, okay, we're looking for above. Now this is -8 to -3, 7. This time I'm catching my endpoint. All right, so let's see what I get. And this time I will do my inequality. Okay, or okay, so let's see what happens. I'm curious to see if I have to use equals or not. Okay, I'm checking. Yay. So you see here how they are giving you closed brackets, but I used open. In this particular case, that's not a significant portion of this answer. All right. Good luck. Talk to you later.